Hey, it's Patrick.
Hey, it's Jeffrey.
And we're back with another Masters of the Universe Classics
MOTUC figure.
We don't ever say that really all that well, do we? We'll get that down.
Yeah.
So who are we talking about today, Jeffrey?
Zodac with a C.
Zodac with a C, Cosmic Enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go right into the bio?
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
Zodac, real name Zodac Zur. Once a member of Eternia's Council of Elders, Zodac chose to retain his human form and left Eternia after Grayskull's demise. Finding peace among the stars, Zodac was recruited by the overlords of Trala to become a cosmic enforcer, being tasked with maintaining neutrality throughout the universe. Although he no longer calls Eternia home, the constant struggle over the Power Sword has often called him back to his native planet to maintain the eternal balance between good and evil.
Okay, so we'll talk about the bio for a little bit.
Okay.
How do you feel about this real name?
I like it. It's simple, and I like the simple real names.
Yeah.
You can read it.
And it's pronounceable.
It's pronounceable.
And that I think we decided was the bar.
That is the bar.
Yeah. How do you feel about this bio, just in general? What were your impressions when you read it? Because you didn't, as a 2002 fan, have exposure to this Zodac.
Yeah, I like it, and I like the figure. He's a really cool figure himself, but
the bio.
I like the idea of Zodac, and I like the bio because, like you said, I've never really known too much about him, so this is all very much new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the bio, and I think it's a cool story and like a cool type of person to have in the story.
Yeah, to me, this is one of those bios where it's like, okay, you know, there's definitely going to be more coming, and that they're telling, or they're going to be attempting to tell a larger story. Because the way it's phrased, like Overlords of Trala.
One thing I do wish they'd mentioned is Zodac with a K. Like,
right?
They never mentioned like the other Zodac.
Not in this bio.
Not in this bio.
No. And I like that it says, finding peace among the stars, so it kind of lends itself to, you kind of can deduce that he was looking for, maybe as a character at that point, a little lower key, or maybe he was just happier in space. I don't really know, but I like that line. But I don't know how I feel about this sort of constant struggle over the Power Sword often calls him back to the native planet to maintain the balance between good and evil, because that just is he's ultimately good, but he is charged with maintaining the balance. So when needed, would he go and help Skeletor if the scale started to tip in He-Man's favor?
Yeah, that could cause for an epic battle.
Kind of odd, but it sort of deals well with the Filmation version of the character, which was very
was he in the Filmation?
Yeah. He would just kind of whip in on his chair.
Oh, he
would?
would?
Like the chair. And then he'd kind of go out.
Which side would he fight for?
Well, I don't honestly remember all that well. I mean, I just remember him being there. There wasn't a ton of him that I recall from the Filmation shows. It's been a while since I watched the series, but he was kind of just a mysterious type of character. So
it'd be good. They could really go different places, which would be kind of cool to see if they will take him to other different places.
They call him a Cosmic Enforcer, and like he joined the he became a Cosmic Enforcer.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely an open storyline they can take.
Right. And, so I didn't have a problem with this bio.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't recall any high level issues like from the rest of the community about this bio either. I think most people were just kind of excited to see Zodac with a C back after Zodac with a K came, and then this is when it really became clear that maybe they were going to actually do two separate characters.
Yeah.
Because in 2002, the K was really because I think Mattel didn't have the trademark to be able to spell it with a C, but they introduced him. He was obviously visually in appearance a different looking character than what we knew.
Yeah.
So this sort of started to really solidify that this was going to to be two separate characters.
Was Zodac with the C like the original Zodac?
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. Yeah, and he looked very much like his figure, which, do you want to go ahead and start talking about the action figure?
Yep.
So what do you think about this action figure? And let's give it a minute and flash it up on the screen, shall we?
Flash.
Magic. So what do you think about the figure?
I like the figure. I think he is a cool figure. One thing I'm not a big fan of is that he has like 3 toes. I wish he had like the human feet. And I'm like, what are those things on his arms? Are those like
Fins.
Oh, is he? So he's not really like human. He's not really all human, is he?
Well, I think that the reason they did this with this figure was much more like in the spirit of the original toy line, where there were so many reshared and used parts. Zodac from the original line shared Skeletor's feet and his arms. And so, if I recall that correctly, and so now here he is in the Classics line, and he's using, those are Skeletor's feet and Skeletor's arms.
Oh, okay.
Which makes him toy accurate from the Classics toy, but or from the classic original toy, but actually he does not look the way he did in Filmation, because in Filmation he had boots and white arms. Well, white regular gloved arms.
He had white
hands.
Gloves on?
Yeah.
Oh, and this one he doesn't have the gloves.
Right, and they're kind of trying to release him that way with the Toys R Us 2-pack repaint, which I believe I don't actually know right off the top of my head the second which character that comes with, but it's one of the last 2-packs because that line's been canceled. But it's Zodac with a C, but with boots and with the white-ish, grayish arms. So for Filmation fans out there, you're going to want to pick up that version of Zodac with a C, because it's definitely more show accurate.
Yeah. So does this mean he's not technically all human?
Well, I think that is, I think there's a lot of ambiguity around what and who he is. Absolutely. Obviously, he's some sort of creature. He's got these funky feet and these funky arms. But
he was involved with the Grayskull.
Yeah, he goes all the way back to the King Grayskull era.
So pre-Eternia. So he's like an immortal because he's still alive, like 5,000 years later.
And that hasn't been explained all that well. Like, in terms of how are these people not aging?
Yeah.
Or do they age, but they just, what's the lifespan typically?
Yeah, it's definitely an open storyline with Zodac.
We know they're mortal because, like, Titus and Megator both are killed. So some obviously do not live and some do. So,
but, like, Titus was killed.
Right.
He was killed protecting something during the battle.
Right. We're diversing off of the topic here. So back to the figure real quick. Is there anything that you don't care for other than the feet and the weird arm things?
No, I think overall he's a really cool figure, and I like him. I like the idea of giving him a gun as a weapon.
Yeah,
it's kind of a different weapon that you don't see with a lot. Like, I guess you do see it with some of them. But I like
that mixture, though, of sort of creature and technology.
Yeah, I do really like that idea.
Yeah. As a figure, I don't mind him. I don't. So this figure, even when I was little, I remember, like, it wasn't one that I loved because it's kind of plain. In terms of figures go, I thought. Yeah, okay. I do remember, what I remember about that figure as a kid was the armor, because I did think that the cool sort of E, upside down on his armor, I remember that. And that's really about it. He wasn't as bright or as vibrant. He was a little more plain looking. But I like the Classics toy a lot. I'm really glad that they brought him into the line.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer the more original toy version, like the one we're looking at here with the feet, than the Filmation version with the boots.
I think so.
And the arms, just for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although that does make the character a little bit more visually interesting.
Yeah.
Because we got Zodac with a K, I kind of like that this one doesn't have boots and that this one isn't wearing gloves.
They're a little different.
A little bit different, yeah. So, anything else for you for this figure?
I know, like I said, I think it's a cool figure, and I like the character. I like the character himself and how he fits into the storyline.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for this episode.
Yep.
Little ho-hum on Zodac with a C. What are you going to do? They can't all be bangers. So I guess until the next time, thanks for watching these videos and for everybody's support out there. And
good journey.
Good journey.